Hello and welcome to What the Fun special favorite film review. This is going to be one of mine for this episode, which is The Master of Disguise from 2002. I've got Joe here with me and myself, the Duck,
What's
of course.
up?
How are you doing today, Joe?
I've been better, but I'm excited to talk about this movie. And we're gonna dive in to what you love about it so much. That's what I'm really looking forward to.
Yeah, so we will get into that. A little bit of housekeeping before we start. We just released episode 110 of Test Your Might with Mike and Cicero and myself hosting over there. If you are a fan of the shenanigans that we bring on the news debacleness episode that we just had.
I like that. The shenanigan.
Yeah, the shenanigan for sure. Enjoy that over there. And we're also going to have the Batman review a year back with Robert Pattinson coming out shortly here as well. But I hope you enjoy this one. This is the movie The Master of Disguise from 2002, directed by Perry Andelin Blake, written by Dana Carvey, and Harris Goldberg. It's starring Sid Ganis. No, sorry. It's starring Dana Carvey, also written by him. And it's also like behind the scenes written by Adam Sandler. It's not kind of mentioned, but he is part of it with his...
Yeah, it's a Happy Madison production.
Yeah.
He probably had some input.
You probably know Dana from like Wayne's World. He was Garth in that, and he's the lead role in this as well.
Or SNL. 6 years on that, I think.
And he was also in Halloween 2, I believe, just for Mike out there. He was an assistant in that movie.
Nice.
Yeah, so this released in August, on August 2nd of 2002 from Sony Pictures. It runs about 80 minutes. Its budget was $16 million, and it hit a box office of 43.4. So let's go into
a surprising success.
Yeah, surprising success. Let's go into our spoiler review. Patent pending. Joe, what do you got for The Master of Disguise?
All right. Have you ever wanted to watch a movie and decided that you'd throw whatever on? This is whatever. Master of Disguise.
I like it. It's simple, gets to the point.
Yeah, I try.
I enjoyed it. It was good. For myself, The Master of Disguise was something I grew up with, and I was always one for doing voices and enjoying the humor and things and the little slapstick comedy kind of jokes that are back and forth throughout the film really tie into my childhood, and I loved it nonetheless. And it still hits you with those jokes, those gags. Sure, some of them run a little long, but for the most part, you know, this film could not get away with being made nowadays, for sure. And it was one of those...
I don't know about that.
Some of the accents and some of the characters that he portrays are a little bit cancel-y, in my opinion.
Yes. They would have to be approved by the cancel culture beforehand. So you'd have to put a tweet out or something for those who use Twitter.
Yeah. So that is our spoiler-free review. If you have not seen The Master of Disguise from 2002 and want to put something random on and just put something on, like Joe put it, this is your official spoiler warning.
Hey, you.
What's that? What the?
What are you doing?
Who, me?
Do you want to be spoiled? No? Well then,
Stop it. Get some help.
so you don't feel like this guy. Instead, let it be a surprise.
Oh, I like surprises.
So go watch the thing before you move on in the podcast, okay?
Alrighty then.
That was your official spoiler warning. Now we will get into our favorite moments of the film. Joe, you seem keen to have a bunch. Go ahead.
Totally. At about 88 minutes, loved that part. It's right about when it ended. It was very good. I did enjoy some of his impersonations. I am a Dana Carvey on SNL fan. Always loved his Bush. He does a fantastic President Bush impersonation. I'm glad that they brought that to this. It was just like a little at the end teaser, which was fun. His Al Pacino was great. The Turtle Man, which is the only thing I remember from my childhood. turtley, right? Probably my favorite moment was Jennifer Esposito because she's a babe. So like anything with her in it was good. She's got a beautiful smile. She's a beautiful woman. Can't be mad at that.
Yeah, his impersonations, his impressions definitely sold the film for him as the lead. He was the master of Disguisey, Pistachio Disguisey, and
Pistachio Disguisey.
yeah, Pistachio. He really, for the plot wise, he didn't know what he was until 10 minutes, 15 minutes into the film, and then he got his destiny calling, and he really went along with that for the rest of the film. And the humor that ensues is definitely, an older film humor. One of my favorite moments is probably all of the Pacino stuff. I loved all of his Pacino impressions when he's talking to the waiter and talking about the food, to when he's dancing on stage. It was hilarious to watch, and
Oh yeah,
couldn't
arguably
get
one of
enough
his
of it.
better impressions in the whole film.
yeah, we'll get into a little bit of trivia down the road in this episode about that in particular. But yeah,
Ooh,
his
okay.
impression of Pacino was definitely up there. I also really enjoyed the turtle scene because it was so over the top and it was so unique that you would just be like, really, that's what he's going to go with? And he did. And even Jennifer later on said, I thought you were crazy, but it made sense. And I
Turns out
really
you can
believe
do
it."
anything.
Yeah. Like he sold it as a character that he sold it as. That was great. Any other moments other than the 88 mark?
88 was good. I really enjoyed Barney in this.
Okay.
I thought it was fun. I enjoyed the little human moments between Pistachio and Jennifer Esposito's kid in this film. I don't remember her name except for it was Jennifer in the film. So if she has a last name in the film, I don't know it. But Jennifer's kid,
It's Jennifer Baker.
Baker, there we go. So her kid Barney is like he's pretty cool. I really enjoyed his scenes. Skateboarding dog, and then the one where Pistachio's a kind, caring person, and Jennifer's current boyfriend was a turd nugget. That was unfortunate, but good for the film.
Yeah, what are you trying to do in this situation? Kindness? He's trying to implicate kindness in the kid.
Yeah, just be a good moral human being over here, and the other guy's just laughing. Trent, was his name Trent? I feel like it was Trent.
It sounds like that sounds right. Also, in the Turtle Club, when they first went in, they met the cigar maker. I don't know if you recognize Eric Avari as the cigar maker. He was.
I
Also
recognize him, but I don't know what from.
He was also in The Mummy, which we reviewed a while back.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
uh,
He's the one guy.
Yeah,
the one who wants the book.
he's a scholar of the museum, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was also in Independence Day and Stargate, some other really big films of the 90s. Yeah, no, lots of little like tie-ins. Like we even got, Sarah Jessica Simpson in there, and that's actually her playing a role for
Jessica Simpson.
yeah, for just a little bit. We got some like little, yeah. Sorry, I said Sarah Jessica Parker.
You said Sarah
Yeah.
Jessica Simpson.
I got
This whole combination of the two.
Hocus
I liked
Pocus
it.
on my mind. We got Michael Johnson, Bo Derek, Keenan Thompson's in there. Like SNL crew a little bit.
Yeah,
there.
there was some familiar SNL faces in there. I like seeing Keenan Thompson as just like a random person eating cereal.
Yeah. Like,
okay.
these ninjas are gonna get up.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. Those are some of our moments. The overall plot, like I mentioned, there's this evil guy that's trying to kidnap the Master of Disguise, which is Pistachio's father, to do his bidding and steal prized, collections of different things that are significant value to history. And he's using his disguising power in order to steal those things and get them for himself. So,
Which was ridiculous because he disguised himself as the like most ridiculous people to walk away with these things. They're like, oh yeah, we'll just give the Constitution to whoever. We'll give this Apollo freaking moon lander to whoever. It's like,
Jesse Ventura walks
Really?
away. Yeah.
that's what you give things to? So it was interesting.
Yeah. So it's up to Pistachio to go to his calling and rescue his father and mother and solve the problem. You know,
With the
and
assistance of Grandpa Harry Gold, Henry
yeah,
Gold, Harry
yeah, Harry Gould,
something
Harold,
Gould.
Harold. Yeah, he makes an appearance with the Exorcist theme. I don't know if you noticed that, but shortly. Well, you don't like scary movies, but
Horror
sh-
films and me, yeah, we don't
sh-
mix.
shortly after the kidnapping happens and the father and mother are taken, it just cuts to the car coming up with smoke everywhere and the Exorcist theme rolling in, and he gets out with a suitcase. And
Okay,
it's
I
just
did
like the
not make
Exorcist.
that connection
Yeah,
at all.
a little bit of satirical joking there with the actual theme playing. The one-liners are something that really get me in this film. You know, the sheer like nonsense that comes out of Pistachio's mouth.
Nonsense.
Nonsense. It's true, but it's funny.
That's on the nose.
It makes you think like, how was he thinking about that when he said that, and why did he say it like that?
And how does Dana Carvey's brain work to come up with all of this?
Yeah,
That's what I was wondering. Where did this come from? What place was he at in his life where he made this? It was I had lots of questions.
Yeah. So honestly, it proceeds to get investigating wise up to find the clues and finally find out who took the father, and then Pistachio comes to the rescue towards the end. So yeah, that's the major
The
plots.
father, yeah, I like the father, Brolin, James.
Mhm.
I think that's right. I should probably pull the thing up and I could read it, but I'm just going off memory. I like him as an actor. He's great in other things I've seen him in. He's in a show with Colin Hanks, Tom Hanks' son,
Mhm.
and I'm blanking on the name of the show. He's fantastic. He plays the father in that as well, father slash grandfather. But I kind of see the similarity in the roles, and he pulls it off very well.
Well, he's in Westworld. He's in Traffic, Life in Pieces.
Life in Pieces, that's the
Yeah.
one.
He's in a lot of stuff. He did a great job, even at the end where he's under kind of like a, I wouldn't say a spell. I would just say a spell. He's under Confucius. He is someone just confused the heck out of him, which is the
Yeah,
bad guy,
he's
and
inhabiting the
is
role.
basically going to make him kill Pistachio. That is the goal in that situation, and Pistachio is able to do some more crazy stuff that calls back to the original scene with Pistachio in the beginning. And
The crazy stuff is he puts underwear on his head.
yes, yeah, he's
this is
literally
not super crazy, but it's like kind of crazy.
well, he's hanging from like by his
A
hands.
satellite on the Apollo lander.
Yeah, the nonsensical sense of this movie is crazy. But he pulls his own underwear off and puts them on his head, and it snaps his father out, and he's able to retrieve the Constitution and everything else and save the day. All right, let's
Yes.
get into
As far as
the
plots
trivia.
go, that's it.
That's it. That's really it. It's just humor rolled into a little bit of action, I guess.
Yes, lots of one-liners, lots of slapstick, lots of like fart joke and crude humor. Not like crude, like you could watch this with your kids for sure, but like a little bit of potty humor, a little bit of like a lot of deadpan humor.
Do you have any
a lot of one-liners?
Do you have any favorite one-liners from the film? Like anything that really stuck out?
No, but here's my deal. I don't remember
No?
one-liners or movie quotes ever. I'm not that person who can be like, oh yeah, we're gonna riff with movie quotes and I'm gonna have something. No, I don't ever remember them. So I'm sure there was some of them in there, but if they were good, I don't remember them.
One of mine is when Grandpa first pulls up on the doorstep, and he's like, "Pistachio, my son, I'm here to save your father." And then Pistachio looks at him. He's like, "You're my sister." Like it's
Yes,
just
that
like
was a line.
yeah,
That was wrong.
that
Like,
that was
so backwards.
That's the point. Oh well, let's get into trivia. Let's get some of this crazy stuff going. So Adam Sandler, the executive producer on this film, came up with 2 of the film's gags. One is the Abraham Lincoln dancing to "I Like It, I Like to Move It, Move It,"
Okay.
and also in the Turtle Club scene, when Pistachio bites the guy's nose off and spits it back, that was also an Adam Sandler gag.
Okay. That I kind of did like. I thought that was pretty good CG for the time. 2002.
Yeah, the way it
Like
bounced
they made
back.
that work. Yeah, wiggles into place. I thought that was pretty good.
Oh jeez. So the entire 12-minute sequence where Dana Carvey's character assumes the disguise of a person with dwarfism and crawls under a wedding party had to be cut from the movie because it was seen as too offensive. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Like, nowadays, the stuff would have gotten even more cut.
They should just leave it all in. There should be a director's cut of this is how they intended the movie to be.
Like a stand-up.
Let it let it be. Let it ride. If people are offended by it, they can be, and that's fair. You know, everyone's allowed to have their opinion. But then for
Technically
those of those of society who aren't offended by those same things, like can enjoy what the original, you know, writer had intended for us. I would like to see that version. I might laugh more.
Maybe. I don't know. It depends. He probably could go some dark jokes in there.
I like dark jokes.
Yeah. So
Dark is good.
Dana Carvey wanted to do the Pacino impression for 6 more minutes.
Oh my gosh.
In addition, but Adam Sandler's people at Happy Madison stepped in and said no.
I mean, it was a long scene. It felt like a long scene. It felt like long enough.
Yeah.
Like it was good. It was his best impression in the film, I think, at least in my opinion. I can't imagine him doing that for like 15 minutes though. That would be so long.
Yeah, that would be but he was good at it. That was probably one of his best ones.
Oh, he's great.
So
that and the snake charmer when he's learning.
Yeah. So Devlin, the bad guy in this film, has this fart gag, right? When he laughs maniacally, he farts and then it's just silence afterwards. And this is an ongoing joke throughout the whole film. I don't think this joke in particular holds up as well. As a kid, it's funny, but not so much as an adult.
I think my 10-year-old would laugh really hard at it.
Yeah.
I might have to rewatch with the kids to see if they think it's funny, and maybe I'm just too old, or I don't have the nostalgia helping me.
I think that's what it is. So, in particular, that the studio wanted to go fart and then just cut, and they said no, the laugh is in the fact, and it should still be silence afterwards. So in screen testings, those scenes got a laugh because of the long, awkward silence after the fart.
Yeah. You need the silence. You need to let it sit.
Yeah. And I think that's why they tied it in towards the end where he runs away and it's like he's laughing and farting at the same time. Kind of like back to the original way that it was going to be. And I'm glad they kept the break. Geez, that's a long one. So in the film, Pistachio does an imitation of Shrek for a little boy. Right? Shrek is voiced by Mike Myers, whom Dan Harvey is well known for starring alongside in Wayne's World. And Wayne's World 2.
Yeah. And he does a really good Shrek.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Also, Eddie Murphy. He did that too.
He did do Donkey. That is Eddie Murphy. I was like, he did Donkey. Donkey's Eddie Murphy. I made the connection eventually. I got there. My brain's a little slow.
So there was a line here that was a Madonna line, right? Towards the beginning of the film, he was in the restaurant.
I don't know Madonna that well.
Well, he was in the restaurant and his father was trying to get him off of the your destiny is out there. He's trying to tell him your destiny's here. He's trying to protect Pistachio. And Pistachio says, "Papa don't preach." Randomly throughout his little conversation. They had to pay Madonna $17,000 just for him to say that the one time.
What?
Yeah. $17,000.
That's several months worth of work.
Just 3 words.
That would take me several months.
Yeah.
To earn
months.
That is movie people are crazy. I would have just had a different line. You've got a lot of you have a wealth of comedians to pull from when it's a Happy Madison production, and you have Dana Carvey on set. Like, there's got to be a better line that they could have used. Although maybe she was relevant then. No offense if you like Madonna and you're listening to this or watching us right now. I'm not a Madonna fan, never have been, never will be at this point. I'm grown and set in my ways. But like, there's other artists out there.
Cheaper. Definitely cheaper.
I mean, free. You have comedians on set and in the production company that could come up with something funny.
Yeah.
And not just like a cultural reference or a funny cultural reference that didn't cost anything.
It's true.
That's a very expensive 3 words.
So I didn't know if you knew this, but this film is one of the, it's ranked as one of the worst films ever made.
I can see why.
You understand that? So Dana Carvey
I did happen to look at Rotten Tomatoes. It gets a 1% and it's number 34 on their worst movies of all time.
Yeah, it's pretty high up there.
I was trying to see if I was alone in my thought process on this or if it was kind of universally not loved. And I found it is pretty universally not loved. So I was not alone.
Still one of my favorites. But nonetheless, Dana Carvey is well aware of the film's reception and his not so successful movie career. He does have a sense of humor about it, though. He once said that his wife and him happened to watch a bad movie. He jokingly said to her, "Geez, this movie's so bad that I could probably star in it."
Well, unfair. I'm glad he jokes about it himself because he is very talented himself. Like, in his own right, he is very talented. He's done amazing things as far as like SNL and doing voice work and stuff like that. It just so happened to be that the one that he wrote, it bombed. Like, this is Hiroshima, boom. It was not good. Yeah. But like, it probably worked for a whole generation. And I think that it would still work as long as you're a kid and you can laugh at like the dumb humor. It was just like, I didn't have any nostalgia helping me out here, and I think I needed some nostalgia to like kick in and be like, it's funny, laugh. And I was like, I was on the struggle bus. It was hard for me to laugh at things. It was like, I see where they were going with that because I saw it from 100 yards away. Okay, like, I'll give you a smile, a slight little yeah
acknowledgement. Yeah. So speaking of the rating. The reason, so at the time the film was made, Dana knew his kids didn't like live action PG movies. They thought they were nerdy and not cool, apparently, his kids. So he tried to make a movie that seemed PG-13, but is actually PG.
So he towed that line of whatever the guidance standards are.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm going to push it as close to 13 as I can without it being...
Because there's some jokes that are definitely not suitable for children. Like...
there's gags that definitely aren't. I mean, the I'm going to marry someone like my mom. And then immediately it's just, she's got like a huge behind. And you're like, oh, not for kids. Or maybe kids who really like Queen. There's a certain song they sing if you're catching my drift.
Yeah. Another money one here, and that's the last one. So Dana Carvey was paid just over $600,000 for his writing efforts on the script.
Okay. Did he donate it to the cast and crew? 600,000 is not bad. I mean, honestly, that's a pretty good payday. It made 40 million box office ish. It recouped all of the money they spent on it. I think you take that as a win. Maybe it bombed and didn't do super great ratings wise,
but they still made his money back.
Yeah, 3-fold, 4-fold almost. So he did pretty good. If it only cost 16 and he made 40,
yeah,
like, that's pretty dang good. I'd take that as a win and I'd walk away happy. And I'm sure he did, because $600,000 will also make you quite happy.
It's true. All right. That's a trivia section.
Would make me quite happy.
Got a little bit of trivia in there. We can go into, how about this, Joe?
Yes.
Tell me one thing you would have changed about the movie. Be real about it. Don't just say the whole movie. Don't like it.
Besides not
Yeah.
making it.
Yes, yeah. Don't do that. Like, if you had to pick one thing that you didn't like about it, what would you do to change it?
I would give it a better plot.
Okay.
I think I would make it matter more, because in this, like, the plot struggled.
Mhm.
The whole thing is like kind of his mom and dad got taken, and kind of he has to rescue him, but there's also a lot about it being him learning how to do everything, how to become a master of disguise, how to do this, and it was muddled, like it was confused. So maybe just streamline it, give it a plot, stick to it, and then work in that, like everything focused on that one thing. And I think if they do that, I think it's a better movie. Like
Makes
for
sense.
me, it would be a better movie for sure. But I think in general, that might make it a better movie.
I would. I agree with that. That would work. I would definitely add more like setup for the characters, for the different people that he plays, the portrayals of characters for him, instead of just because towards the end it felt like they just rammed as much impersonations as they could back to back to back.
Oh yeah.
Instead of having that build up of like, okay, this is this character. Sure, they were funny. Sure, some of them were like, oh, okay, that's a gag. But it feels like skits back to back instead of plot tied guidelines. So that's
Exactly.
I
And
think
if
it
the
works better
plot
with
had
your two.
been, if the plot had been, hey, he's a master of disguise, we're gonna walk him through how he changes, why he changes, and all this stuff, then it makes sense, at least for me. And yeah, it felt messy, just like here, 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 and you're like, okay, I get it. Like, and like his impressions aren't bad. We all know Dana Carvey's phenomenal at doing impersonations and doing impressions of people and apparently things in this film.
Mhm.
So we know he's capable, but make me want it, make me understand it, make me want to know why, and then give me the reason why. And instead they were just like, take it all, boom. So yeah, I agree. I think it needs a little help.
Do you have a favorite impression that he did? Like a favorite character that he portrayed out of the film? Like one, just one.
Probably the Pacino impersonation. Either that, or I love his Bush. I think his Bush is hilarious. Obviously, it's better on SNL because he gets the content on SNL, because he gets to talk about political rhetoric and things like that. But in this, it was just fun to see him reprise that role. So Pacino for this though it's by far his best impersonation in this whole film. I think
Pacino's
the
definitely up
old
there.
lady was pretty good.
Oh, we're never going to have babies.
Yeah, Grammy something.
Yum yum, I think something yum yum.
Num nums.
Num nums.
Grammy num num.
Pacino's
Yeah,
up there
weird.
for me. I always fly right over the shark dude from Jaws, like in the boat.
That was good.
It's so good, and I always forget about it. He's
good.
like there's shark in the water, like, and the whole
And he
story
pulls it
tells.
off.
Like, it's so good. He did it so
Yeah,
well.
he pulls that one off really good. I forgot about that as well.
Because
that might be
because
one of
they're
the better
all
ones,
rammed
too.
together. That's why. Because they just shove them all together at that point that it's like they lose their whole feeling, And the only
Yeah.
one you remember is the biggest one from the beginning, which is Pacino.
Because Pacino had a long scene.
That's fine. Oh well.
In the turtle, right? The turtle. Everyone remembers the turtle. It was especially for our generation because it was in all of the ads.
Yeah.
The trailer, every trailer that came out back then was Mr. Turtle, and he'd do the little shell bump, and like that was the whole thing. And we're like, yeah.
All right, let's go into our ratings. Joe, out of 5, what do you give it?
Don't watch it. Let's give it a 1.
Don't watch it. Bad. All right. Here first.
If you want, you can. Okay, here's my preface. I really didn't enjoy it, but if you think that if you like movies like Nacho Libre or Napoleon Dynamite, or in this case Master of Disguise, I bet you'll like this movie because it's the same or very similar style of humor. It is dry. It is almost so dull that it hurts. But if you like that humor, you're gonna like this film, because the same people who like Napoleon Dynamite and Nacho Libre, they're the ones who like Master of Disguise.
Yep. That is why I give this film a 4. I like those films. I like that sense of humor. Also, I
Oh,
like
see?
impersonations. I love the characters that were portrayed, even if they were jammed together. And Garth is always good to see on screen. You know, from SNL to Wayne's World, he is an amazing actor, and he deserves it. Uh, it is very choppy humor, like Joe said. But if you like those, like his preface, if you like Napoleon Dynamite, Nacho Libre, those films that are kind of taken down by society, or not like blown up as big films are, things that are kind of like overpassed, I guess is the correct term. Some people like them, some people don't. You will like the humor in this, and that's why it gets that rating for me.
Yeah, Napoleon Dynamite was absolutely huge for like when I was in high school. I feel like that film blew up, and I tried to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen it twice, all the way through. I've laughed 0 times.
See, like
I know lines from it, and I still haven't laughed at them.
so the funny thing about Napoleon is also it blew up for me. I watched it and I hated it. I despised that film when I first watched it.
Understandable, I get it.
And then I watched it a second time, and it got a little bit better. And I was like, okay, now I'm starting to understand this humor. I'm starting to understand this turning point that I don't know, it was a turning point for me for that film. And now I've seen it maybe like 7 times. I know it all by heart. The humor hits me. It took like a building up of terribleness to like get that nostalgia feel for me. I don't know.
Gotcha. So if you're willing to do that with this film, watch it. That'll be my caveat. So I put it low, but if you like those movies, I think you'll like this film. For me, I'm a Hot Fuzz kind of guy.
Hot Fuzz is great. But that's our rating of The Master of Disguise from 2002. Check back with us if you like what you're seeing. If you like this episode, leave us a like or a rating down below. Give us a review on Apple Podcasts. Hit the bell notification or the like and subscribe on YouTube. If you're watching us freak out about this film, because it's so good.
Yeah,
then
because
let
it's
us know.
amazing.
Yeah. Or if you disagree with one of our ratings, if you think that my rating is completely wrong and this is a terrible film, or if you love this film and you disagree with Joe's, let us know in the comments. And also let us know your favorite movies, because we do bring in guests every 4 episodes. So you could be one of them.
Or more often if we get more guests to shout out what they want.
Yeah, we could throw you in 2 times a month. We could do it. Whatever works. But this was WhatTheFun review of The Master of Disguise, and we'll see you next time.